as you can tell in the title, we're touching on something that breaks friendships. Wow, my face is really dark. There you go. That lighting, a little bit bad. See when I go down, see it automatically adjusts. I'm surprised my camera does that. There's still a little bit of shadow. Is that better? Just gonna. Can you see me now? That's bright. I put it right here. Ooh, that works. It's totally blinding me though, so I want to put these back on. That's a little bit better. And so that light I was just on my head, it's just hanging on something right in front of me, and so you get that nice look, and you can kind of see like, Riker, why are you wearing two hats? In my opinion, what's more American than two hats? No, I'm just kidding. But what we're talking about is a very touchy subject. It ruins friendships. It creates friendships. It's the Dodge versus the Ford, or just Chevy versus the Ford. So I got my Dodge hat on, and you might be wondering, why do I have the two hats on? It's not just because it's awesome. It's because my mom likes to take my hats every once in a while because she doesn't like people to see her hair when she just doesn't do it. And so she left it underneath her bed, and it was next to a vent, and so it got like really moldy, or it got stained. I didn't want to put that on my head, so I washed it, so it's still wet. I didn't want that mold touching my head, so I thought, yeah, I'm just gonna wear another hat underneath it, because why not? And so today we're talking about the Ford and Dodge. And if you want a real car, you obviously get Dodge. That's just obvious. If you might be asking, why are you wearing that Ram hat then? If you're talking about Dodge and Ford. Well, Dodge owns Ram. Chrysler owns Dodge. Fiat owns Chrysler. And unfortunately, Fiat does own Chrysler. I don't like that, but they're still pumping out Hellcats, so I'm still happy. I'm going to take these off because I just look ridiculous, so I'm just going to be blind. That's fine. So, I'm going to move over. As you can see, bald eagle, and this is where I think I'm going to put my camera for the most part, just because America. And, I just also have my weapon right next to me. This is my Staff of Justice. Just did not just almost just break my VR. And so whenever you need to just fight someone, just right here, and this is awesome. You've seen in my deck setup. A lot of people keep on like messing with me. Like, if you ever notice, I spell things wrong on purpose just because I think it's funny. And also when I spell things wrong on purpose, you don't realize it that I spelled it on wrong. You just thought I did it on purpose. So thinking in head, because my spelling is as good as a 2-year-old. It probably is a little bit better. Yes, hi Kitty. And so I'm gonna like move over a little bit, and I'm gonna put like Hellcat. You just can't beat that. You see that gets chicks just instantly. Chicks are just drawn to that Hellcat because it's a Hellcat. If you get a red eye, ooh, they're just gonna be like running after you. But if you get a Ford, excuse me, this dudes gather around it because dudes like Fords. You don't want dudes around your car. You want chicks around your cars. And so it's just obvious. If you want a Ford, you get by your uncle. It's just a fact. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. That you were messed up as a child, and that's why you still like Fords. And I'll be posting like other pictures of like Ford memes of like Dodge. It's called, if you want to see like where I got most of them, it's called Mopar memes. It's on Instagram. If I remember, I'll put a link. But a lot of them on the picture that actually says Mopar memes. And so those are gonna be cat. Stop it. So it's gonna be in the corner screen of just awesome cars that Dodge has made, and there might be some Plymouths because Plymouths are just awesome. But let's actually get to the true point why Dodge is superior, not just my opinion. And oh, by the way, this is all opinion based. There are some facts because awesome. But overall, Dodge in the beginning. Let's start from the beginning too. Dodge brothers, they used to make bikes, ball bearings. And this isn't 100% accurate, but this is like 95 because I'm just going off of memory. If you want a true accuracy, just look it up. And for the most part, I'm correct. There's some areas that I'm a little bit wrong, but for the most part, I'm pretty much right on it. But the Dodge brothers made ball bearings, and they made ball bearings that dirt couldn't get inside. So they made that, and they put a patent on it, and they made quite a bit of money from it. And so then they stepped up into engines. Oldsmobile, they paid Dodge for their engines and transmissions because their engines and transmissions were pretty good. And Ford came around. He liked making race cars, and race cars back then were not that reliable. And so a lot of times when Ford was making vehicles, he would go bankrupt. So no one really wanted to invest into Ford because it was always went bad. But the Dodge brothers, having all the money from making Oldsmobiles, engines and chassis, that they said, "Screw it, let's do it." And I don't think they had the word "screw it" back then, but they just said, take the chance. And so they gave Ford some money to start off, and Ford vehicles had a Dodge engine and transmission. And so Ford bought engines from Dodge, and so at one point he didn't have the money to pay Dodge, so he just paid them in stocks. And so Dodge had a pretty big portion of Ford, so they could actually have a say in what's going on with the vehicles. Ford didn't like that. Ford did not like paying Dodge, and so Ford stopped paying Dodge. Dodge sued Ford and got all the money that they deserved from the stocks, and they sold their stocks at one point, and then they started creating. Stop it. They started creating their own cars. It's like Dodge 32, 31, 33. It's in between there, but they're quite expensive, and they're all like steel. And Dodge came out and said, if you want a real man's car, you go with Dodge. But if you want to stick with a little kid car, you go with Ford. That's not 100% accurate, but he said it was like a roast in back. It was like a roast, and just made fun of Ford back then when Dodge came out with their first engine. I meant first vehicle. And I might put up a picture of it if I remember. That's the worst part about editing. You just gotta remind myself. And so with that, they started making cars, and so there was a competition. And I'm just gonna skip ahead to like not present day, but the Dodge came out with the Hellcat. The Hellcat had 707 horsepower, and Dodge owns Hemi engines. Dodge wasn't the first one to like have Hemi engines in their vehicles, but they made like the, I'm not sure if it's a patent, but no, Chevy or Ford do not have Hemi engines. In drag racing, there are Ford and Chevy Hemi engines, and you might be asking, Riker, what's a Hemi engine? Hemi engine is a this I'm going to talk car terms. So on the head of the engine, it's normally like a triangle, and so it lets fuel and air into it to mix to explode to create a combustion to push the piston back down. With a Hemi, it has a hemispherical head to let in more air and gas, and there's not a lot of like flat spots in it, so it's like high performance, and so that's why Hemi has so much horsepower. That's why the Demon, it had wait. I'm drawing a blank. I normally don't draw blanks on numbers. Numbers are pretty easy to remember. Like 800 and I can't remember. I'll put it in the screen. That bothers me that I don't know the number. But they had the Hemi engine. I'm right back. Story for that. It just bothered me so much. I wanted to know. The Dodge Demon had 840 horsepower. I don't know why I drew a blank on that. I'm normally pretty good with numbers, especially with Dodge, because I love learning about them. But the Demon was very fast. The 0 to 60 was in 2.6 seconds for a production car, meaning it came from the factory going that fast. And it was the first production car to be able to do a wheel stand. It's basically a wheelie, but the wheels come off the ground. So that's a wheel stand. A wheelie is more higher up and it can stay. A wheel stand can just come up and go. Not as high though. But it was the first production car to do a wheel stand. And also, Dodge came out with the Elephant engine. They're really big on like the Hellcat, Demon, Hellcat Red Eye, just all like more like dark and like demon, not demon, but more like evil. And so they came out with the Elephant engine. They called it the Elephant engine because originally they had the elephant. People nicknamed it the Elephant engine because it was a 426 engine. It was a huge engine, huge. So they called it the Elephant engine. So they recreated it, the Elephant engine, just the Elephant engine. And they recreated the Elephant engine with the same theme of like monodic, demonal kind of thing, hell. And so that had 1,000 horsepower. It was called a crate engine. A crate engine is actually you just buy the engine and you put it in your Dodge and it will work with your transmission of like a certain year. Stop it, cat! Trying to make a video. Got to get my staff to poke it to stop it. And so with that, it was the fastest. It wasn't the Demon was the fastest production car. It trumps over Bugattis, Lamborghinis. I'll put up more pictures, and it shows like the 0 to 60, and it's ridiculous. And the quarter mile on it's pretty fast. It tops out 140 miles per hour. People say like it's not that fast. Like compared to a normal stock car, it's pretty fast. But it's all acceleration, not top speed. That's why the Hellcat can go 200 miles per hour. They have gotten videos. If you look it up, Hellcats going over 205 miles per hour, just stock. Obviously, they have like better tires on it to grip up and just my neck's itchy. And so Dodge is just awesome with their cars. And then Rams with the Hemi, not Hemi. You do get Hemis in Dodge. They come with like 357 horsepower. That's impressive for just like not a mid-size. It's a mid-size truck. But you can also get Cummins engine in Dodges. Cummins engines are quite a big brand. They're in semi-trucks and other like vehicles because Ford uses Power Stroke. That's their diesel engine, and then Chevy has Duramax. Cummins, in my opinion, is the best. Duramax is second, and then Ford is, of course, at last place. But with the Cummins engine, it's very, very good, reliable engine. And as the Dodge trucks owner would say, 6 in the V, 6 in a row, ready to tow, 8 in a V, you probably sit down to pee. That's a big saying on the old inline 6 engines, the Magnum engines. They were inline 6, and they were really reliable. People put them in like everything because they're just so reliable and they last forever. The truck will rust before the engine will break down for sure. Obviously, you still have to maintain the engine. You can't just abuse it and expect it to last forever. You gotta maintain the engine just like any other engine. But with the Ford trucks, the Ford, and I'll give some case. I won't just be one-sided. Ford does have the most selling pickup truck ever because Ford was the first one to make the pickup truck, and they were very popular at one point because they were at the head. In my opinion, like if we're talking about newer cars, Ford has the most amount of towing, Dodge has the most amount of power, and Chevy has more luxury. Chevy's going to more luxury nowadays, but back then Chevy used to be all around. It used to be high end, most power, most towing capacity, and just a nice ride. But they have gotten more luxury. Ford has always been like Ford tough, but then you always see those like memes of Ford breaking down, and so. Let's go on to the Mustang. This hurts to talk about it. I will admit there are some Mustangs that look kind of nice, like the '69. I just feel like the '69 year was an awesome year for the Dodge Charger '69. That was the Dukes of Hazzard vehicle, General Lee, and the '69 Mustang was the fastback. That was also a quite nice vehicle. But nowadays Mustangs are always like, nope. You are not allowed on my desk. But nowadays, Mustangs are just like the cheaper alternative, and a lot of like teenagers get it and they upgrade them, and they just look bad and they don't know how to drive them. That's why you see so many memes of like Mustangs crashing into people. Mustangs are really hit with the crowd because they hit the crowd. I know, terrible. It's awful. I know, but. Gotta drink the blood of my enemy. Nope, it's just cherry flavored water. But overall, shot up. If you like Dodge, Chevy, Ford, it's all relative. It's what you grew up liking. It's what you chose to like. It's all opinion based. I know people that have all three. I know people that are only stuck to one brand. But the real meaning is we need to stick mostly American against the dang foreigns. The Honda, the Honda Civic, just that fork can. I can't stand those with the wastegate. Just I can't. So we just gotta stick together, get American cars, even though they're fading to not even be made in America, unfortunately. Sad days. I was born in the wrong generation. Should have been born a long time ago. I would have been real patriotic. A lot of my friends say in the book of dictionary, they say nationalism. They have a picture next to it, and just a picture of me, because how biased I am because America. What's more American than a bald eagle? Nothing, exactly. So I'm just gonna wrap this video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.